Peace, y'all. It's your girl B from Being Rose here. I pray that you all are in good health, good mind space, good spirits on this beautiful Saturday night. It's so funny to I know people aren't really trying to hear, the beauty of things in this current world space, but maybe it's because I'm a Libra, we are the scales, we are always able to find the bone of contention and the silver lining, or the line of harmony in every situation, especially when it comes to delineating. So because I can't go live on either of these platforms, I wanted to just kind of come on and do like a live-ish check-in, just shoot a video raw like I typically do over on MySpace. You might, hopefully the camera is balancing. Let me turn this down a bit. So because it's raw, I'm just wanted to come on and just kind of do a check-in, kind of just speak from whatever comes to mind. I get in these modes where, I'm a writer. I don't want to talk all the time. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to curating your social media page. And so when I rather just have a flowing conversation, I don't want to have to come up with a script and be sure that I'm touching all my points and all those kinds of things. That's why I was hoping at some point I do meet the live requirements. I'm doing all the side quests and the side missions, when I feel like it. I mean, if my art is something that I have put a lot of authentic energy into, so I definitely don't want to manipulate that energy into chasing algorithms and doing all the side quests and all the missions. And to me, that kind of takes the authenticity out of it, turns into productivity, and that's too much work. And I got business, you know what I'm saying? That's, unless there's a way for it to pay my bills immediately, then I'm already having to do that kind of, put that kind of energy into what does at this current moment, if you know what I'm saying, with that, you know what, I just realized too, let me change my light to Pisces deep water, to emit that kind of energy. It's still doing amethyst, which was for Aquarius. Hold on, let's get into mode here. So hold on, give me a second here. I'm gonna go through this with me. Let's see, I think that is, hold on, let's go this way. Oh, okay, here we go. We got action, or no? That's blue. Let's see if we have a aquamarine type situation. I don't think it's, maybe it's kind of what y'all think? Yeah, works? Okay. Make sure it's not doing that part where it kind of cycles through all the lights. All right, so I'm back. Anyway, back to our conversation at hand. But of course, I'm always thinking, I'm always having introspective thoughts about things, right? And I'm thinking about things that I'd like to put into the public space, right? Because Being Rose is such a reflection of my devotion to my artistic practice. I write poetry, and that is significant to me because it gives me the opportunity to kind of channel my reflections into an actual readable or translatable way, so that I'm able to share my art and create community at the same time with the Beyond Rose check-ins, with the casual conversations, with what I'm doing right now. And this is me, like I said, shooting from the hip, everything is raw. So I don't know what I'm liable to say. Hopefully it's not offensive, but I still said what I said. So, because if I'm being this particular to make sure that I'm not getting into spaces where that are very subjective, that are a bit out of range for the community I want to build in this space, then I kind of typically stay away from it. However, I'm a deep person. There's levels, but I prefer depth, and I think that has reflected a lot, on my page. And so I was thinking, I'm like, everybody likes deep until deep show up. Deep shows up, and everybody's like, oh, I wasn't trying to get so serious. Why are you so serious? When I'm not always so serious. I'm just willing to reflect. I'm willing to get a little deeper. It could be part of that introversion in me, even though I don't, labels are labels, and I don't think that we should limit ourselves to those types of things, but I understand how they're important for giving other people the opportunity to understand, right, where we're coming from, who we are, the message we're trying to convey. So that's what I was thinking about depth. With deep water, with what I'm doing with letting nature's archetypes be your guide, which is something really dear to me. I talked about this some posts back, some reels back over on the platform, and it was really my way of keeping time. I'm ready to drop another project. Switching arms, if you hear something clanging, it's my amulet. But it was really my way of keeping time for releasing Daydreams About Night Things Volume 2, which is still coming, of course. It's not complete. This one is definitely a bigger body of work than Volume 1. So I kind of want to give it its just due, because I don't feel like Volume 1 was rushed, but to a degree it was. It was like the excitement of having an idea, being able to express it or manifest it in physical form so that it's a tangible, animate object, and be like, look at my baby, you know what I'm saying? I've given birth. Artists know it, you understand what that is. So it wasn't really rushed, but it was me figuring out the pieces, the mechanical pieces, the administrative pieces as I went along. And it was like, as I was able to put those pieces together, I'm like, okay, we're building. The puzzle is here. I'm able to, I went in productivity mode, which I tend to do. And it's definitely a part of my personality. And, something that it works, it works to a degree until it doesn't. It works until it doesn't, right? So I was super excited about putting out volume 1. I'm definitely proud of it. It was definitely something I was all about sharing, and something I'm still very sensitive about to this day. So with volume 2, I'm allowing it its space to cook. I'm allowing it some space to build while still learning so much about self-publishing and how I want to, and being an artist and wanting it to be an artistic piece in itself, right? I absolutely want the book, the cover, the pages, everything about the packaging to reflect growth of being Rose, and as an extension of the Being Rose vision. So I'm still learning so much about it and just the investment of it, right? Because part of adulting, period, but especially artistically, you spend a lot of time investing in yourself, not even just artistically, but as a business owner, there's a lot of resources, financial resources, time, energy, emotional energy, mental energy, so, it does take a lot out of you. But when it's something you're passionate about, of course, you'll gladly do the work, right? So I'm definitely not complaining. I'm just explaining how it will take its time, and letting nature's archetypes be my guide is definitely important to me, to kind of center myself, ground myself, and also give reverence, give appreciation to nature and her seasons and her work is pretty much a lot about awareness, self-awareness, awareness of time as it relates to nature, seasons, astrology, things of that nature. All of that plays a part scientifically with time and energy. Of course, it doesn't relate in the same way that we try to, our minds, our humanistic minds, try to convey it and explain it and package it so that it makes sense to us. But I found that to be a great way to create content, to post things on, to keep Being Rose kind of moving forward. And it definitely supported the values of Being Rose, the art, intuition, reverie, the relationship to self, a lot of the objectives, truth and love, create beauty, things that Being Rose vision represents, and what I convey and what I practice, my philosophy in life. So it's not just about what's happening online. It's absolutely about authenticity, and this is, me, and so I'm happy to be able to share that and create a community with you all, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all for being here. And about that, that's another thing too about the book. With volume 1, I was just like, all right, here we go. I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? It's me giving birth. It's me creating an extension of my heart outside of myself, and I'm able to share that. But at the same time, you don't just do this stuff because, yes, you do it for you. And whoever creates their own opinion about it has their own opinion about it. But you want people to have opinions about it. right? So it's not really, it's so much about what kind of opinion they're going to have. Just, are they thinking about it? Are they speaking about it? Are they engaging with the work? You know, and so much about social media is about socializing. So it's difficult to be like, you know, like just like now I've grown so much with just like talking to this camera, just like cutting it on and just, you know, saying what you need to say, and like building your platform and standing firm on your mission, you know what I mean? Beating the case and just doing you know. But at the same time, you want to see that you want that value reflected back to you, you know. And actually did like a week ago a reel on a check-in about validation and how, you know, just how rhetoric, vocabulary, words, themes, sayings, you know, kind of change, you know, they get manipulated, and, you know, that manipulation could be innocent or not, you know, who knows? That's not really what this is about, but it's just how we kind of reprogram ourselves to this individualistic way of life. And of course, you want, you know, with relationship to self, it is about self-awareness and being aware of just your mind, how you're feeling, how you're conveying those feelings, so that we're able to build together. You know what I mean? So it's not so much about that not needing validation in the sense of, I need you to tell me who I am. It's more so of a reflection, seeing your environment reflect back to you, so that you know that you're being heard, so that you know that what you're conveying or what you're saying or the life that you're living, not just in social media, but the life that you're living is a proper reflection of who you are at that moment. You know, of course, we all grow, we have the opportunity to expand, but it's really so much about seeing your environment, your community, your social media page reflecting back to you. And you don't have, of course, we don't have any control over what's happening outside of self. I mean, and I know that more than anyone, that's what the whole premise of the objective of relationship to self is about. But we know that the energy we are omitting has the power to manifest, to change, to manipulate, to expand or contract what's happening in our real life. You know what I'm saying? So I think, so that was my whole point about hearing the thought or the expansion on a validation and what it's meant to represent. So I'm definitely going to post this here on YouTube because we're already at like almost 20 minutes. There's no way that this can go on the other platform. So if you want to watch this full video, then of course check it out on YouTube. B_and_Rose_. I'm still learning all these things. I really so that's kind of like, that's what's put me in like some of this mode where people are kind of like, okay, where are you? You know, I think I've pretty much laid a solid foundation of what being Rose Vision is, and what it represents, and the position that I play within it. So if I feel like I want to take a step back, I want to take a break from the internet and actually get into life into real life, into having energy exchanges, personal energy exchanges, meaning person to person. And that's super important as a human, you know, and especially as an artist, you know, how can you sit down to write if you not sit up to live? So you have to do some living. You have to get out. The weather's great today. It's so strange, just kind of like, okay, we're just having a casual conversation. But it's very important to remind ourselves of those joys, of the power of higher energies, so that we're not brought to the same level as the desperate and seeking, always, of the insatiable, right? So that's what sets us apart. So don't ever find yourself being envious, being ungrateful for what you have. Be grateful. Always be grateful, okay? We'll get in, maybe I'll do these regularly, but I just want to make sure, because I know I can get to rambling, especially since, like I said, I'm pre-recording this, even though it's raw. I definitely don't plan on doing any editing, because that's just not, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to take away the value and the other people who are expertise in these fields, because let me tell you, it's not easy. It's not easy to do. You know, there are some things that you just learn as a self, you know, I want to just be like as an entrepreneur, or just, you know, doing things on your own. You have to wear many hats, and you have to play all the roles until you don't. You have to play all the roles. So I'm definitely hats off, and you know, salute to those who are about that audio and visual, all that editing. Listen, you see creators, you know, and you just kind of think like, okay, well, you know, what kind of, you know they working hard. Just know they working hard. You know, that's me trying to watch my mouth. Cause, you know, like I said, everybody wants deep until deep shows up, and then it's not that serious, you know, and then it's not that deep. So I think that's, you know, I think this is at a good point. I definitely don't want to make these super duper long, and create any issues with uploading them, but I'll be back. All right. And then on the next post, maybe we'll get more into relationship to self, more into maybe some card pulls, since we are in the full moon energy. So that energy is definitely very important during this season. All right. As with all the seasons, you know, the moon cycles are super duper important. A lot happens within those cycles. And especially since we're coming up on the end of the year, as I regard it, coming into spring, new year. So there will be lots of reconciling. Okay, that's what we'll call it, reconciliation. All right, so I'll talk to y'all soon. All right, peace. Get out of here.